Welcome back to Accounted Cross Stitch. I'm Nikki and today is WIP Parade Day. I am so excited. If you're new to my channel, I have been cross stitching for about 2 years and doing Flosstube for a little under 6 months. So I still consider myself very new to the craft and the community. And so this will be my first WIP Parade today, and I am very excited to pull everything out at once and get a good look at what projects I'm taking into 2026 and start thinking about new starts, you know, what I might finish, what I might have capacity for. So I thought I would be a little bit festive, but it's actually not that cold here and I'm dying. So we're gonna ditch the hat and we're gonna start looking at some cross stitch projects. Oh, I also wanted to mention, if you watch my channel normally, then you know that I usually talk about knitting and books as well at the end of each episode. But today I think I'm going to just focus on cross stitch so I have time to get you all the details about all of my projects without it taking too long. It's not that many projects though. I will do like a tiny wrap up of my stats for knitting and reading, but I'm not gonna show projects and books today. We're just gonna do cross stitch. So I'm going to go in chronological order, starting with my oldest projects, and I'm going to show all of my project bags today, which I've never shown before, so I'm excited for that. So to start, let's see. I have notes. I know usually for my floss tubes, I just chat, but I wanna make sure I get you all of the details for these. So we are starting with, this is a fat quarter shop bag, and the project in it is Barn Owl by Cottage Garden Samplings. So this is where I'm at with my WIP. I think I'm making very good progress on this. So this is my oldest WIP. This is what the finished project will look like. And I started this on March 1st, 2024. And it is on 14 count Ada in the color Valor by Picture This Plus, which is, it's the called for like fabric, brand, and color, but I think they call for doing it on linen, and I was a pretty new stitcher when I started this, so I went with the 14 count Ada, which is nice. It's always nice to have an easy Ada project on hand, so this is that for me. But I'm definitely hoping to get this finished pretty soon, with it being my oldest project and it being not that big. I don't think this is a project that needs to celebrate its 2nd birthday in March, so I'm gonna try to finish it before then. Next up, oh, and I'm doing that in all of the called for threads, so that's both DMC and weeks. Next up is Love at First Sight by Long Dog Samplers. So I have this in this project bag by Sherry So Sweet Sherry So Sweet on Etsy, and it's got Christmas dogs and gnomes, and I think it's very, very cute. So this is my Christmas bag, and this is not a Christmas project, but it's Long Dog Samplers, so I thought I would put it in my dog bag. That was the closest theming I had, but this is my Love at First Sight by Long Dog Samplers. I mentioned in my last episode, this is a memorial project for my cat Shinigami, who passed around Thanksgiving of this year. And I am trying to do 1 page per month on this pattern, which it's 20 pages total. And this month I'm on the 3rd page. So I will have 17 more months to get this done. So it will be done in early 2027. And this is, I started it on July 21st, 2024, and it is on 16 count Ada in the color Pixie Dust by Forbidden Fiber, and the floss is from Silks for You on Etsy, which I absolutely love that floss color. Let me just show you the floss. It's so pretty. I ordered a ton of it. I wanted to err on the side of caution. I wanted to err on the side of having too much floss rather than not enough, especially with a project this big. So I'm kind of hoping I will have a little left over when it's all done for other projects. And that is Love at First Sight. Next up is Dangerous Liaisons also by Long Dog Samplers. This project bag is, it's Tula Pink fabric and it's by Shiva Designs on Etsy, and it is my #1 favorite project bag that I own. The little kittens are so cute and I really like this fabric as well. It's so fun. So this project, it's a long dog as well, but it's one of the little ones. It's one of the, is it peccadillo or peccadillo? Well, I look at the double L's and I think I want it to be peccadillo, but I feel like I've heard other people say peccadillo and they probably know better than me. But it's just one of the tiny long dogs. And I have big plans for, I bought a set of 3 peccadillos and I'm going to buy another 3, so I have 6 total. And this fabric is from a set that Forbidden Fiber did that was a rainbow set for the summer solstice in the summer 2024. And so it included like, I think 10 pieces of fabric across the rainbow spectrum. And I picked out 6 in the big rainbow colors. And I'm going to do a peccadillo on each one and then frame them on just like plain glossy black frames and put them all across my wall next to each other. So I will have the rainbow, and I'm gonna do each as like a tone on tone. So this is a dark red floss on the red fabric. I'm gonna do them all like that, orange on orange, green on green. So I'm super excited. I'm definitely not making very fast progress. I started this in October 2024. So as you can see, I haven't spent a lot of time working on it in the last little over a year since I started it. So if I want to finish up my rainbow spectrum project idea, I really need to get on these. So I will be focusing on this, I think, in 2026 as well. And the fabric is 32 count linen in the color Hot Tamale by Forbidden Fiber. And the floss is also Forbidden Fiber in the color Dark Cherry. Next up, we have, I like this project bag too. Look at the cats. And the inside is cats too. This is by Whip It Up on Etsy. And the project is Cerberpuss by Needle-Lot Designs. This is one of my favorite patterns that I have because it's just such a creative pattern idea. So, you know, Cerberus, the 3-headed dog that guards the underworld in Greek mythology, this is Cerberpuss. So it's going to be Cerberus if he was a cat. And I'll pop in a picture of what the finished pattern will look like here. But I absolutely love this. I'm really enjoying working on it. I started it in March 2025. So we have finished 2024. We are on to my 2025 starts. This is on 16 count Aida in Dappled Moonlight by Forbidden Fiber, and it is in all the called for DMC flosses. I'm resisting the urge to say, and I'm going to focus on this in 2026 as well, about every single project. That would be an interesting goal, to finish all of my projects in 2026. I don't have like that many WIPs, but I still don't think I'm going to finish them all in 2026. But it's like, as I'm pulling them all out and looking at them, I'm like, oh, I love this. I want to work on this more. I feel like that's what happens to everyone when y'all do your WIP parades. Next up, this is another Shiva Designs project bag. I really love this one too because I feel like at first glance it looks like a Vera Bradley bag, you know, like a preppy basic paisley pattern. And then you look more closely at it and you're like, there are velociraptors in there. And I love it. And again, I really love the like liner fabric as well. I don't know how well you can see it with the glare. Let me take the pattern out and then you'll be able to see better. Look at those rainbow colors. I love this one. It's so much fun. And the project that I'm working on in here is Eva by Nora Corbett. This is the second Bewitching Pixie that I have done from that series. I also did Gwen. Gwen was one of my very first cross-stitch projects. So I'm wanting to stitch quite a few of these witch designs. They're all just cute little witches in really big, pretty colorful dresses. And so there's at least 4 or 5 of them, and I'm just gonna have a display of witches in pretty dresses that I want to do. I know one of them has like a cat in the picture, and they're all different colored dresses. I love them, so I'm looking forward to continuing to work on these. And I started this in February 2025, and this is in 16 count Aida in the color Dappled Moonlight by Forbidden Fiber. That is the same fabric from that I'm doing on Cerberpuss as well. I got it in a grab bag, and I got 2 pieces, and I really like it. So I don't know if it's one of their regular fabric colors that they sell since I got it in a grab bag, but I should go check because I really like it. And this is in all of the Called for DMC, and there will also be Mill Hill beads when it is all done, but I will save the beads for last. So that is Eva. I'm making a mess below me. I'm gonna have some cleanup to do when I'm done with my WIP parade. Next up is it's gonna be Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. So I put it in my Halloween bag since it's a pumpkin pattern. This is from Sherry's So Sweet on Etsy. I really like this one. I've got spider webs on the back, but I really like the Halloween patchwork. I love Halloween things that include like hot pink in the colors. I think pink is a Halloween color, and I'm not sorry. But this is my Autumn Cloche. So this is what the pattern looks like. She's a big girl. I haven't made huge progress on her. I will show you. This is what I have so far. So I'm finally getting a start on one of the pumpkins, which I'm really excited about. I'm sorry that I didn't iron, but I live in a very small apartment, and getting all of the ironing stuff out and having space is really a challenge. Like, I don't own an ironing board, but you can see it fine. It's fine. This is on This is on 36 count linen in the color Stone by Fiber on a Whim. And I do think that is very close to being the called for fabric, but I think the called for was 40 count, and I went down to 36 count because I was scared. At this point when I started this, I still hadn't done any 40 count. Man, my arms are getting tired holding these up. But I started this in September 2025, pretty recently. This was one of my StitchCon acquisitions. So I've been enjoying working on this. I bought an Ottlight with like the bendy craft lamp top and the magnifying glass, so I could work on this more easily because this is the smallest count that I have worked on to date. And I'm doing it in the called for NPI silks, which this is my first time working. No, it's not my first time working with silks. I have the Silks for You on my Long Dog sampler, but it's my first time working with MPIs, and they're very soft and I really enjoy them. I don't know if I mentioned the pattern designer is Hello from Liz Matthews, and I think that's all of the information on this one. Sorry, I'm getting a little scatterbrained there. I'm not used to pulling out this many projects at once. Next up, this is a Fat Quarter Shop bag, and the project is From Velvet to Linen by Kathy Barrick. So this one is on 40 count. After successfully working on 36 count on Autumn Cloche, I decided to be brave, especially with my acquisition of the craft lamp and magnifying glass. I decided to be brave and try something on 40 count, and I'm glad I did. It's going well. 40 count is not as scary as I initially thought. So let me show you the pattern. This is the pattern. I am doing this in my own floss conversion. I received a gift from one of my girlfriends of this Paint Box Threads silk set, and these are the colors. So I was trying to figure out what I should stitch with that would use a lot of these colors together, and that was how I landed on this pattern. So I recognize that these are a lot brighter than this, so I am doing a brighter conversion. These don't cover all of the flosses in this, so I pulled in a bunch of DMCs as well. And so this is the first like major color conversion I've done by myself. I ended up like buying all of the DMCs that this called for and laying them out in a row, and then pulling out my DMC stash and these and laying them all next to them to come up with the conversion. So I'm hoping it ends up looking good and balanced and not crazy. But I'm a little nervous because I haven't done this before, but we will see how it goes. I think it's off to a good start. I really like the brighter blues. So I'm excited to start stitching the flowers. And I don't know if I said I started this in September 2025. And so pretty recently, and it is on 40 count Newcastle linen in Heartland by Picture This Plus. That might be the called for fabric. I think it might be, I'm not positive. And yeah, so that's From Velvet to Linen. Next up, this is another fun patchwork bag from Sherry So Sweet. This is a fun rainbowy kind of summery one, and it has flowers on the back. And the project is my Toadghoul Terrararium Sal by Noctiflora Designs. So I don't have a picture of the finished design here because this is an ongoing Sal, but we have 9 out of 10 parts done here. Only one more to go. And like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. This looks like it's maybe 80% done, but there's only one more piece of the pattern. So I feel like the last piece is going to be absolutely enormous, and I'm not going to get it done in a timely manner because I'm going to be traveling for Christmas. That last piece is coming out on Friday, so I will probably be finishing this in January because I don't anticipate getting a lot of stitching time for the rest of December. I'm gonna be visiting with family for Christmas, and then when I get back, I have a loved one's birthday around New Year's Eve, so lots of continued celebrations and socializing and just a busy time. So yeah, I will probably be finishing this Sal in January, even though I have successfully kept up with it. With every piece of the pattern through the whole Sal, and now I'm gonna fall behind on the last piece of the pattern. But I guess the last piece doesn't really have a deadline since there isn't, another piece after that. So I guess I can still say that I kept up. And that is, I started that in September. September was a big starting month for me. I think I finished some big things around that time of year as well. And this is 14 count Ada in Midnight Opal by Witch's Garden Crafts on Etsy, and I am especially obsessed with this fabric. I feel like I might buy more of this fabric from her so that I can use it for some witchy stitcher pieces. I really like, it's like almost solid black, but you can see it's like a little bit cloudy. And then I don't know if you can tell, but the sparkle is pretty green. And I think that it would be great for some witchy stitcher pieces, and I'm definitely wanting to start some more witchy stitcher pieces this year because I'm going to her retreat, the Children of the Thread retreat in Colorado in April. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think I need some more black fabric for pieces for that retreat. Let's see, did I give you all of the information on this one? Yes. Oh, and the fabric is the called for DMC, which the floss is the called for DMC. And I did want to point out one of the flosses, this like super bright neon yellowy greeny color. That's one of the DMC. I think they call it fluorescent, but it is made of plastic and it is not fun to work with. It's supposed to be 6-stranded like regular DMC. Let me see if I can pull it out easily and show it to you. But it like splits up so aggressively. It's very difficult to separate out the 6 strands. Like, I don't know if you can see, like you can kind of see what's supposed to be 6 strands, but they're all made of a billion little tiny strands. And it's so splitty. It's hard to thread the needle. It's hard to separate out a strand. And then it's like kind of stiff and doesn't sit nicely. So it was not super fun to work with, but I do like the effect. Like, it's very bright. It really adds a nice pop of color to the piece. So maybe worth it, especially since there's only one of that type of floss in the whole project and it's only a little bit of it. I think that if there were multiples of that floss line, I might take a second look at choosing to go through with that, and I might do a conversion because that is not fun floss to work with. But just the one, I think it was worth it. Next up, this is another Fat Quarter Shop bag, and the project is Cherry Magpie by JetX Stitch. This is another one of my very favorite projects that I'm working on right now. I had this on my radar when I saw the pattern for the first time, but then a few months ago I got invited to do it as part of a sal with some friends. So we have a group chat going on Instagram and everyone's comparing progress photos, and that just makes it really fun. I started it in a different corner than everyone else started it, so I had to be special, right? But I'm really enjoying this. I love the fabric. I love the way these floss colors pop on the fabric, like the greens pop so nicely against the pink. And this is mostly DMC. I think that we were talking about this at the Jingle Ball with some people, like this project really showcases how beautiful DMC can be. Like we do not need to be taking DMC for granted and like always wanting to use fancy flosses, because fancy flosses are fun, but DMC can be absolutely gorgeous and vibrant. So there's two fancy flosses in here. There's the Coloring Cotton, which is the super bright pink. I'm not going to try to point to which one it is because there's so many pinks, I'm not positive. And then there's the Threadworks, which is that kind of very lightly variegated emerald color along here. And they're both a delight to work with. I'm obsessed with this pattern. As soon as I finish it, I know I'm going to want to start Blueberry J as well. So let's see. I started this on October 2nd, 2025. And the fabric is 28 count Lugana in the color Diva by Picture This Plus, which I think I need more of this fabric as well because that is the most gorgeous pink ever. And yeah, that's Cherry Magpie. You know, I talked about resisting the urge to say that everything was going to be a focus in 2026, but that one really is. Since I'm in that sal, that continues to motivate me to work on it. So I think I will finish that one this coming year. And next up, we have another Fat Quarter Shop bag. I know the Fat Quarter Shop bags aren't quite as exciting, but they're functional. This is Black Roses by Owl Forest Embroidery. And you can see my thread swatch that I did down here because I was trying to decide if I wanted to do it in 2 strands or 1 strand. And I did land on 2 strands, even though this is 20 count. The fabric is 20 count Aida in Dirty Chalkboard by Bestitch Me. And the thread is Silks from Silks For You. So there's the one variegated red and then the jet black to pop against that kind of charcoal-y fabric. So I have a very small start on this. I will pop in a picture of what the pattern is going to look like. So I am planning on doing all of the heads of the roses in red and everything else in black, except I'm starting to think about like the lady figure in the front. To me, she looks like a queen or something. I don't know if she's supposed to be like a religious figure or because I feel like the building is supposed to be a cathedral. When I look at it, I see a queen in a castle. I don't know. I've talked before about how it also reminds me of the Dark Tower. So in my mind, it's kind of a Dark Tower themed project. That's part of what inspired me to do the roses in red. And since Dark Tower is a book series by Stephen King. And since the Witchy Stitcher retreat in April is Stephen King themed, I'm planning on this being one of my like big focus projects at that retreat. You know, I was initially thinking that an Aida project with only 2 colors would be a really good retreat project, but this is kind of hard to see on the 20 count Aida, so I might need to invest in a lamp to bring to the retreat with me, or I might not get too much progress on it. We will see, but I have 4 months to figure that out. But yeah, Black Roses by Owl Forest Embroidery, and I started that on November 15th of this year. I think this one will take a very long time to finish. I'm not feeling tempted to say that that's going to be a focus in 2026, because while I want to work on it at the retreat, I could see this project taking like 3 years to finish, especially since I am focusing really hard on doing my 1 page per month on my big long dog. I think that will be most of the progress I want to put into a giant sampler every month, but I will try to keep it moving and keep doing at least 1 little rose motif every month so that it doesn't stall out, because it is a big project and it's going to take a long time. Next up, we have another Fat Quarter Shop bag. You know, when I first started stitching, I ordered a bunch of like basic supplies from Fat Quarter Shop, and they had they do some kind of like quarterly bag subscription, and they had old ones up at a discounted price, so that's how I got all of these bags from them. I got them for a very affordable price. That really helped me like get my stash started. But the project in here is For You by Teresa Kogut. So this is my little start. I've only worked on this for a couple of nights. I started this on November 30th, so just a couple of weeks ago. Let me show you the pattern. I think the sheep in the scarf is very, very cute. Obviously, I'm doing it on a different fabric choice, so it will be a little bit more Christmassy. I started this when I realized I didn't have any winter seasonal or Christmas projects going. So I wanted something to work on during this time of year. I'm not very dedicated about being a seasonal stitcher. I'm not like, oh, it's winter, so I only want to work on winter projects. But I wanted to at least have the option of working on a winter project in case I'm in the mood. So I think I might bring this one home with me or to my parents' home with me for my Christmas travel. I think this is it's pretty easy, especially I can do like some fill in on the border, and just in case I get any stitching time while I'm in North Carolina for Christmas. And the fabric is 32 count linen in the color Argyle by Forbidden Fiber, and this is one of those rainbow colors that I mentioned earlier from their Rainbow Solstice set that they did. This is one of the ones that I did not choose for my Peccadillo rainbow project, so I'm using it for this, and I think it's a really nice pretty green. And that I'm using all the called for threads, so it is both DMC and Weeks Dye Works. And those are all of my WIPs. I have some statistics to wrap up with. I keep a stitching journal, so I have all of my info of when I started everything and what I started and finished each year. So that was 11 WIPs, 3 of which I started in 2024 and 8 of which I started in 2025. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I only carried 3 projects from 2024 into 2026. And I'm definitely planning on finishing 2 out of those 3 in 2026, but one of them is the giant long dog, so that is going to carry over to 2027. I started 13 projects in 2025, and I had 10 finishes in 2025, and that is compared to 17 starts and 10 finishes in 2024. So it was not as many starts and it was the same number of finishes. However, in 2024, 6 out of my 10 finishes were these little bitty Taylor Swift mini albums. And I did not do as many of those this year. So I was finishing much bigger projects this year. I think I got a lot more stitching done this year, and I will continue to do so in 2026. I will say that in 2025, I focused really, really hard on cross stitch. I kind of made cross stitch my entire personality this year. And I do also love knitting. I have knit for about 20 years, and I have a big yarn stash that is just languishing. And I have continued to shop for yarn as if knitting is my primary hobby, and then spent all my time cross-stitching instead of knitting. So I do need to knit more in 2026. I will try to strike a better balance. It's hard with another Flosstuber was talking about this the other day too. When you want to cross stitch and you want to knit, and you want to read, and you want to play board games, and you want to have a social life. Like, it's so hard to keep up like a healthy balance of all of the hobbies. I'm gonna try to work on that in 2026. Let's see, knitting wise, I don't have any projects to show, but I finished 17 projects in 2025. I sound crazy now. I just complained about how I haven't knit hardly at all in 2025, and then, oh, I finished 17 projects, but like, most of them were very small. That was 7 hats, all of which were the Musselburgh hat patterns that you see me show all the time, and 5 pairs of socks. I finished 4 shawls and 1 cowl. So most of those are very small. The shawls are kind of a big project, but everything other than that was very small, like purse knitting. Knitting is my portable project. I like to put my knitting in my purse and take it on the metro with me when I'm out and about, or on car rides. I like to knit. So I did get some good portable knitting done. But I'm gonna try to do more shawls in 2026. And then I read 121 books so far, and I think I might make 125 by the end of the year. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's not, because I have 2 books that are already like I'm more than halfway through that I'm probably going to finish in the next day or 2, and then I'm going to be able to listen to an audiobook on my drive back and forth to North Carolina. And I know I'm getting some books for Christmas that I'm very excited about. So I think I really will make 125 books. So that's exciting. And yeah, that is my WIP parade. So thank you for watching, and I will be back with a regular Flosstube episode sometime after Christmas, probably the very, very end of December, or the very, very beginning of January. And I think January is going to be a great crafting and reading month for me, because it's a busy, busy month at work. I'm an accountant. It's year-end close. So what I end up doing is not making hardly any plans at all to socialize, because I work a lot and I don't know exactly what hours I will always be working on during year-end close, which is not how my job usually is. I have great work-life balance, except in January. So I don't make any plans, and then when I'm done working, all I do is stitch and knit and read. So I think I will have lots to show, and I'm really looking forward to the new year. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.